All right, gentlemen, we did this last week, and dear God, did it blow up on our YouTube channel? So make sure you are subscribed to that if you're not already, and I certainly do appreciate all of the views on last week's, and hopefully we have some similar success this week. But looking at the NFL playoff picture, what's that?
Or some similar jinxing.
Where's the Giants at? Jeez. Oh, never mind.
Where the Packers at?
It's not last year. I forgot.
I was gonna say, I think
this is not last year.
No, it is not.
Where are the Seahawks at here? EJ, how about that?
They're almost there. They're almost there. Right? Yeah, they're one spot out. They're
tiebreaker out right now. The Rams.
Yeah. But let's look at the AFC first, gentlemen. The Baltimore Ravens currently the number 1 seed. In the yeah, ain't that the truth? Wild card round would be the 2 seed Dolphins taking on the 7 seed Colts, the 3 seed Chiefs taking on the 6 seed Bengals, and the 4 seed Jaguars taking on the 5 seed Browns. Teams still on the outside looking in that are eligible because Titans, Jets, Patriots all are eliminated officially. I think you can pretty much put the Chargers, Raiders, probably Steelers are teams that are soon going to be eliminated. But the teams really on the outside looking in, Texans, Bills, Broncos, I think are the 3.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
The 3 that I think are going.
Oh, the Denver Broncos
going to have any sort of say. If things are going to change here, sitting here week 15, EJ, what changes?
All right, so I'm sold on Baltimore number 1 seed. Even a week out before the game against the Dolphins. Well, not a week, 2 weeks from the Dolphins. They're going to close 1 seed by next week Sunday. So that's the lock. 2 seed Dolphins. Whew. The schedule. The next 3 games: Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. So I'm reluctant to. I'm going to lock them at 2, maybe at 3, but I'm still on the fence on that one because that schedule's a little
yeah. There's no such thing as a hesitant lock.
So we're locking seeds here, right? For the record, just we're clear.
We're predicting. If you say lock, you can't be.
No.
There's no to be.
Here's the question: locking for the playoffs or locking?
Well, I think the actual question is is what teams will change. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to say the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs,
yeah, they make the playoffs. No, I won't lock them with a 2 seed because the schedule's tough, and if they lose 1 game, Casey wins out. The schedule's pretty easy rest of the way out. They're a 2 seed. That's simple.
There's a kiss of death.
Well, again, as I'm saying, the guys listen to me. So I'm not gonna lock him in 2 seed. Playoff team
talking trash as he now kills the Chiefs.
The power of Pat Mahomes compels you. It's okay. So 2 seed. I'm not gonna lock in the 2-3 Chiefs yet. The Jags. You got 3-way tie to AFC South right now between them, the Texans, and the Colts. But the Jags schedule is still pretty favorable. I still have faith in the Jags to get things done. I'll lock them, actually. I'll lock them. As for the wild cards, 5 seed Browns, I'm there. I'm there now at this point. I see enough. 6 and 7, that's where things get a little tricky. Bengals schedule, still tough schedule ahead of us, for the Bengals. I won't lock them just yet. I want to, and they have no Jamar Chase this week also against the Steelers. Should win that game, even without Jamar Chase though. But divisional games, it's weird, So just
TJ Watt, it's weird.
Exactly. Well, you said it. I mean, Mason Rudolph. Sorry, did I say out loud?
What weird about that?
Did I say out loud? I'm sorry. And 17 Colts. Their schedule's actually fairly favorable as well too. But I won't lock them up either. I still think Denver is the team on the outside to watch out for because the rest of their schedule now it's Patriots, it's Chargers, it's Raiders. So if they can win out and get a hiccup or 2 from one of these 2 teams,
okay. So if a team on the outside, team or teams on the outside is going to get in, who gets in and who falls out?
I think both teams will fall out. And I think both the Broncos and Bills get in. Well, sorry, Broncos and Bills. Yeah, we get in. Yes.
So Bengals and Colts fall out. Bills and Broncos get in.
Man, the Bengals story is so cool, though, man. It really is.
I mean, it would make us all look really smart.
It's just a schedule.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, this is why I'm with the Bengals. If they win this week against Pittsburgh, because their schedule it's Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns.
Thank you, Gary.
That's the issue with the Bengals. Browns obviously give them issues.
No, Browns give the
Joe Burrow issues.
Browns give Burrow issues. We have not seen. Listen, okay. Cincinnati has not had the opportunity to give a Browning to the Cleveland team. Okay, that's what we're looking for here.
You know what? We're gonna do this again next week, anyways. Give me Broncos, give me Bills to get this 6 and 7 for the time being. If Bengals win this week, though, I feel a lot better about their chances. But I gotta see 1 more week.
Wow, no kidding.
All right, Kyle, same question to you.
Hopefully I can answer it a bit more eloquently than my co-host here. Listen, at the end of the day, I still think
easy.
That's easy. Low bar.
That was easy.
Yeah, right. I still think the Chiefs get that 2 seed. I think Miami does hold on to get that 3 seed. I think I can't believe in the Bills yet because despite all the greatness and the performance they had this past weekend. Sorry, Jim and EJ, but there's too low a floor to balance out too high a ceiling, as you guys have been saying the whole time. Even though I said they'd make the playoffs back in the preseason, it's not the Bills that I have a problem with. These other teams that I did not see coming, specifically the Indianapolis Colts. At this point, 2 AFC South teams are going to make the playoffs. I'm making that call now because I'm not a fence sitter, nor am I a little bitch. So,
damn, really?
You're a little bitch.
I'm a little bitch, though.
That being said, I listen, and no disrespect to Burn and his Bengals, man. Listen, that's a great story. I just don't think they clear the hurdle. For my money, I feel like at this point, man, isn't Sean Payton making that campaign for Coach of the Year, huh? Holy snap. That being said, it's still going to be the Browns that get it. I think they hold the 5 seed. I see the Broncos sneaking in at 6 or 7, and the Colts, I'm going to say for now, will hold serve simply on the strength of C.J. Stroud missing. I think the Browns win this weekend to take the Texans out of it. And retain that 5 seed. And then in week 18 right now for today, I feel like they get CJ Stroud back by then. If they play him, I think they knock the Colts out they may knock the Colts out, but by then I think the Colts would have gained too much ground.
Yeah, the Bengals have a hard road, and Mike, he also pointed out Steelers, Chiefs, Browns to close. And for him as a Bengals fan, I can't fault it. Love the motivation. Why not us? Absolutely. When you're looking at the Bills, the Broncos, the Texans, if those are going to be the teams that are going to knock out either the Bengals or the Colts, because at this point, and praise be Joe Flacco. What a weird
2023,
year.
bro.
Weird year we're in, but like
the upgrade.
The Browns definitely feel like like they will get in, whether it's the 5 seed. I don't think they're going to catch Baltimore, so they almost feel like they're locked into the 5 seed, like either the Cowboys or Eagles are locked into their 5 seed. So it's just a battle for those 6 and 7 spots. Buffalo has the Chargers, Patriots, and Dolphins. Denver with the Patriots, Chargers, Raiders, and the Texans close out with Browns, Titans, Colts. I mean, not knowing the beyond this week, the health of CJ Stroud this week against Cleveland, that's definitely a bad beat for them. I gotta lean more on the Bills or Broncos. Definitely taking a spot away. Did we get the Colts? I'm pulling it up now. Closing schedule.
Falcons,
Raiders, Texans.
Right.
Damn. Okay. So the Colts currently hold tiebreakers over the same record, Texans and Bills. With that schedule.
Can they go 3-0?
No.
Okay, there you go. There's your hookup.
18.
Okay. Buffalo can go 3-0.
They won't.
Those are Dolphins?
Wait, you don't think I think the Colts could go 3-0 in this?
I think they lose to the Texans if CJ Stroud plays.
Which is week 18, right?
Yes.
Okay. Should be back by then.
In Indy.
Buffalo can go 3-0.
I said what I said about CJ Stroud there, Jim. Buffalo can, they won't, because they're fucking Buffalo. After all this bullshit, I've listened to you all year about the Bills will make the playoffs. I picked it. Now you're gonna run and hide like a little bitch.
No, but again,
stop it. No, EJ, I'm saving you from yourself. I know they can. I know it's on the board. I know their schedule's relatively weak. I know they toppled the Dolphins before.
I have a question.
All I'm saying is they won't.
I have a question though.
Prediction.
Staying on the topic though. Okay, I see your point, and I like your argument. Where's the loss?
Miami.
Assuming Miami doesn't need that game by then.
Okay,
why are you assuming that though?
Hold on, Jim. Let me answer his question. Where's the loss? Buffalo. They shoot themselves in the fucking foot.
Which game?
Somewhere. I don't give a shit.
Pats, Chargers, Dolphins. Which one?
I don't give a shit.
Okay. Okay.
They're going to lose one.
If they lose to the Pats or the Chargers, they don't deserve to get the playoffs anyway.
Well, I mean, that's a
you're not wrong about that. But here's the thing. I don't know why you're assuming that the Dolphins aren't going to need to win week 17. I mean, or week 18. I apologize. Because, right now they're 10-4. The Chiefs are 9-5. It's very possible they need that game to get the number 2 seed.
And I'll say this, EJ, if because it's week 18 that Buffalo and Miami battle, right?
It's in Miami as well.
You're asking me to pick Buffalo's coach over Mike McDaniel? How about no?
So yeah, I don't think the Bills win out. I don't think the Colts win out. They could. I think the Broncos will get in. I think they'll take a spot from the Bengals. Sorry, Mike. It's unfortunate for the Texans because they've had a hell of a year, but now with this Stroud injury looming over a big week here, that's going to be tough to overcome.
I got to address something here too. We haven't talked enough about Jacksonville's situation, and Devin said something that I can't let stand because I cover the team. Not so much that I'm insulted by it. It's just a take I don't think he's considered fully. If you can bring his comment up here real quick, Jim. Buffalo's going to sneak in and take Jacksonville's spot. Here's why that's not going to happen. Okay. Let's say they even lose to hey Tampa Bay, right? Because Trevor Lawrence is currently in concussion protocol as of yesterday. I haven't seen today's action there from John Shipley, my editor at Jaguar Report. Bing! But Doug Peterson was not able to answer questions yesterday regarding Trevor's status and all such that it is. So he is still in protocol. We're not sure if he's playing on Christmas Eve in Tampa. If he does, and they beat Baker Mayfield and company, the next 2 games are the Panthers and the Titans. If they win in Tampa, they're going to win 11 games. Okay?
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is the Jags are going to win 10 games at worst because of those final 2. Let's say they lose in Tampa. They're still going to win 10 games, just as somebody here on this panel predicted in late August. Ping on the Student of the Game podcast. Yes. And a 10-win team getting eliminated is very interesting. I'm not sure the Jags are that team that will get eliminated.
But for the Jags to be eliminated, either the Colts, assuming the Jags lose 1, right? And only end up with 10 wins, the Colts or the Texans would have to win out.
Which is okay. So
which is very unlikely, right? Because right now they're all sitting with the same record and the Jags have the tiebreakers.
Right. Which, I mean, listen, the Jags won't be watching the TV directly because they'll be in the middle of playing and for their own lives. But the outcome of that week 18 game of Texans Colts is a very huge deal, obviously.
Right. So yeah, I don't see that happening. Jason has an interesting comment. He said, if the Dolphins lose to the Cowboys, The Finns better worry about the Bills.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think that's
without question.
Well, and especially because Miami is they have Dallas, then they're at Baltimore, and then they play Buffalo to close.
Right, absolutely.
Like that is a tough road. That is a tough road.
Most people expect Buffalo to be only one game behind by week 18 because Buffalo's schedule works out great for them next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
As you've continued to point out, and rightly so.
Right.
And I see Byrne talking about Taylor Heineke beating the Colts. I mean, they did improve by sitting Desmond Ridder again. You're not wrong.
How much though? Because Heineke did not look great at all, and not necessarily his fault. I think that's Arthur Smith's fault.
Bottom line, Dolphin fans must win this week.
By the way, DeForest Buckner has entered the chat, and he's going to be in Heineke's nightmares.
Not a must-win this week for Miami.
Excuse me?
How is it a must-win? They have a 2-game lead over Buffalo.
A must-win for what, EJ? Stop with the incomplete bullshit.
If Miami loses one game next 2 weeks and Buffalo wins out the next 2 games against the Chargers and the Patriots, one game separates the week 18 game. Buffalo wins, they're not only getting the playoffs.
So by definition, this is not a must-win.
It's a must-win, dude. If Miami wins this week, Buffalo loses.
That's not how the math works.
You want to keep for Miami to feel good about the division title. They need to keep a 2-game lead.
Okay, you're feeling good and must win are 2 different things.
Thank you.
Must win.
It is not a must win because you lose this, and you're wrong. And I'm telling you why you're wrong. Because if they lose this week and they beat Baltimore, guess what? You have that 2-game lead again.
Just stand there in your wrongness and get used to it.
Wait, they lose Dallas and a what now?
If Miami loses to Dallas, but then beats Baltimore next week.
What does Buffalo do, though? Does Buffalo lose to the Chargers on Saturday? That's my point.
He can't even stay consistent, this guy.
EJ.
If they lose to Dallas this week and Buffalo wins this week, Buffalo is now only 1 game behind. Going to week 17.
Okay.
If they go chalk week 17,
do next week.
Even if Miami wins week 17, Buffalo should win week 17 as well, too. Still a 1-game lead. Week 18, they play. Winner wins division.
And that's the must-win game. Not
well,
this week,
obviously.
Yes.
But you don't want to come down to week 18, obviously.
You don't want it to, but that is why
That's a must-win.
That is not a must-win, dummy.
No,
you can.
That is a we want to win.
Yes, it would be nice. It would be better to win.
So why? So then why was it?
Go ahead and rescue yourself later. It is not a must-win.
Then why was a Jet game a must-win? You agree with that, Kyle?
It was for the other side more than anything else. A, B, the Jets were a must-win, as I explained on both your fucking shows. It was a morale thing at that point. If they lost that game, I don't think they could come back. It wasn't just about the math there. I knew they would plummet continually. I knew that Timmy had boiled their chances at that point. I say no, but it was my advisory professional guest as somebody who spends times in press boxes all over the sport.
Goalpost moving.
It's not moving, asshole.
EJ telling you why this week is not a must win.
Just hold on, Jim. Just like you use the term must win wrong, you use that wrong. Okay? Know what it is if you're going to talk.
Also, Jason, you are also wrong. This is not a.
What do you say?
This is not a must win for the Dallas Cowboys. No, it's not. They literally are already in the playoffs.
No. I agree with you on that one.
How is that?
If we're talking NFC East, yes, I guess. But big picture, no.
That was not clarified.
Right. If you want to put clarifications on it, which I asked you to do, EJ, 3 weeks ago when you were talking about
do it just now.
You know what I mean? Like if you want to start putting clarifications on it, then go ahead.
I guess morale-wise, the Cowboys be a nice win.
Oh, who's moving the goalpost now?
It would absolutely be a good win for the Cowboys to beat Miami on the road.
It's a bigger must.
So you're talking about the division? Then yes, I would lean more towards it being must-win. Every game for the last couple of weeks has been that for the Cowboys. If they
Philly should win out.
They should, but you also pretty much locked them into beating Seattle. So do that again, EJ.
Seattle's better than the Giants and the Cardinals.
I dare you.
I dare you, EJ. Do it again.
To do it, I will, dude. I'd rather you guys win the division than the Eagles. So I'm doing God's work here.
Of course you are. You're a Cowboys fan.
Now, Mikey Getz, he said the Bengals Steelers a must win for the Bengals. If they lose, they fall out of a playoff spot. Season in shambles.
Oh,
I would agree.
and
Also,
and that schedule
also
too.
true. Also
This
true
guy
for the
gets it.
Steelers. If the Steelers lose, they're done.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We assume they're done now anyway. Honestly, the way
They,
things are going.
they are, but again, math and reality are two different things.
Yeah.
Yes,
fun.
and Mason Rudolph is close, but he's not math. You know.
Don't do
Don't
math.
do math.
All right, let's look at the NFC side. San Francisco. You almost just lock them into that one.
Absolutely.
Point. Jesus God. Currently, the 2-seed Cowboys would play the 7-seed Rams. The 3-seed Lions would play the 6-seed Vikings, and the 4-seed Buccaneers would play the 5-seed Eagles. On the outside, looking in the NFC, would be 7-7 Seattle, 7-7 New Orleans, and that's where I draw the line. Basically, I draw the line at 7-7 Seattle because I think the Saints find themselves basically out of the discussion after this weekend. But officially eliminated, teams officially eliminated in the NFC: Washington, Arizona, and Carolina.
We talked about it on the Student Game Report, EJ. Who do the Saints play this weekend? That's a pretty big game.
Thursday night against the Rams.
We will be predicting that one here in a couple minutes.
Yes.
So Kyle, looking at the NFC playoff picture, what changes, if any, do you see?
Well, I'll lead with this. Listen, both you Cowboys fans, I've been pretty harsh. Give me 5. See what I did there?
I hate you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm saying that the Eagles meander their way into the 2nd seed. The Lions and Bucks, I think, are pretty clear that they're going to stay there. The only thing that's more fraudulent than the Vikings this year is the Vikings last year. So they too will fall out. Thank you, Jim. And frauds. No, wait. Atlanta's already been beaten this week. Shouts to my guy Danny Thompson, who you'll see on the Student of the Game this week. Bing!
Hey.
Anyways, and don't worry, we talk about the fraud cons, EJ, just to raise your hopes. At any rate, for me at this point, that then makes it pretty much Thanos style inevitable that we have 2 NFC West teams, and I see Seattle and LA both making the playoffs.
All right, just for knowledge's sake, the Vikings have Detroit and Green Bay both at home, and then they travel to Detroit in week 18. The Rams have the Saints, then they're at the Giants and at the 49ers. Seattle has at the Titans, home against the Steelers, home against the Cardinals. EJ, what do you think changes in the NFC?
All right, San Fran staying number 1. They pretty much clinched it unofficially. 2 seed, I'll go the Eagles. Although Lions Cowboys game next week, week 17, could be sneaky for the 2 seed.
Huge.
We'll see what happens to Philadelphia first, though. But just saying. But I'm going to go 2 seeds still to the Eagles by virtue of the schedule. 3 seed, obviously Lions are locked at 3 seed at that point. 4 seed, I'm on Tampa. Tampa's winning division, I think, at this point now. 5 seed goes to Dallas. That's easy. This is where it gets interesting now. 6 seed, we asked me this a month ago, but I said Minnesota was a lock. Nope, not anymore. In fact, Minnesota's done. They're done. Quarterback issues and the schedule now.
I tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Yes. I didn't listen. Another team I jinxed also. So Minnesota's gonna be out of that spot. I like the Rams to grab one of those 2 spots.
Oh shit!
And honestly, fuck the Saints. Seattle after yesterday. I'll take Seattle as a 7 seed. Honestly,
nice backpedal.
I thought they were dead after they lost that must-win game against the Cowboys. Weird.
Well, beat the Eagles.
Man, real weird how that happened.
They beat the Eagles.
What happened?
The other team I jinxed like 3 weeks ago also to the Packers.
What happened was
so Mike says he has the Vikings out, Rams out, Seahawks and Packers in. Packers.
He's trying to supplant EJ's jinx. That's nice of him, but
Packers schedule definitely is
at
shit,
Carolina, at Minnesota, and then home against the Bears. So I mean, a game against the Vikings, that EJ would be what we call a must win.
I
I said what I said, Jim.
That doesn't make you correct.
Right.
You stand there and you're wrong.
Say a lot.
Mike's not wrong though by logic of the Packers' schedule. But so far, 0-2 and that easy stretch.
Yeah,
So,
they have not been good in these easier games for
not
sure.
great, Bob.
They need to figure it out real quick if they want to have a shot. They are a team that could pretty much be eliminated this weekend, no matter what happens against Minnesota next week. So Philly closes home against the Giants, home against the Cardinals, then at the Giants. The Cowboys have the harder road there for sure. At Miami, home against Detroit, and then at Washington. Detroit closes at Minnesota, at Dallas, home against Minnesota. I don't see Detroit catching. I don't see Detroit catching the 2 seed. I think they're going to be pretty much. I really think you can lock in 1 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed. The 2 seed is going to be the NFC East champion, whoever it's going to be. Most likely the Eagles, but like that team does not look good right now at all. And I understand they have had a rough schedule the last few weeks. Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks. That's not an easy road. Okay. I get that. It's getting a lot easier for them in front of them. But you know, they had a 3-point win against the Bills. They had a 4-point win against the Chiefs. They had a 5-point win against Dallas.
Well,
they had a close win against Washington. The Eagles have been playing close games all year, and it feels like it's catching up to them a little bit.
And for your concerns, Jim, they're playing last year's Coach of the Year twice in 2 out of 3 games. That's a damn tough stretch.
I mean, we laugh about it, and there's no reason to believe that the Eagles should lose to the Giants either of the 2 times or the Cardinals. But things, we have seen weirder things happen this year. This Eagles team has lost to the Jets this year, right? Okay, so
damn Jets.
Like there's no guarantee all year across the board. There's no guarantees. So yeah, Philly probably going to be the 2 seed. Dallas probably going to be the 5. Into that question, like, would you rather win the NFC East or would you rather be the 5 seed?
That's a great question, Jim. I mean, would you rather play Tampa or some combination therein of
Vikings, Seahawks, Rams?
Or I guess allegedly, possibly the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I said allegedly, damn it. And don't throw the Packers in there technically,
allegedly.
Right?
You get the home game versus the road game.
The worst case scenario is facing across from Aaron Charles Donald at this point.
I think your worst case scenario is the Rams getting to the 6th seed and you have to play Seattle.
Interesting.
I think Seattle's a more dangerous team to play than the Rams are.
But it's a 2 seed, right?
You think John Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are less dangerous than Geno?
The only difference is that they're going to be the Link this time, though. That'll be a home game for them, though. The only difference.
Yeah.
I
think Seattle's a more dangerous.
A question, but okay, EJ, sure.
I do think I think Seattle is a more dangerous team than the Rams are.
Yeah.
I do.
All I know is this. I know for 2 next 3 weeks that Jim is the biggest Giants fan on the planet. That's all I know.
I mean, I always want the Eagles to lose. So
he's certainly going to be a bigger Giants fan than you are, Cowboy fan, Patriots fan, Chiefs fan.
I'm
Bronco fan.
The thing, fan. I'm not even worried about what the Eagles are doing. My worry is about the Cowboys this week. That's my worry. Because the Cowboys are 3-0, or 3-4 on the road this year. That's a problem. That's a problem.
The good news is you'll definitely, as a Cowboys fan, be plenty of damage to Tyreek Hill's MVP efforts because the Dolphins are going to run the ball all over you.
In terms of the 6 and 7 seed, I think the Vikings will find their way out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Seattle and the Rams do get in. And lastly, as we're talking about the playoff picture, because I mean we've seen the frustration with the Chiefs over the past few weeks. Still the 3 seed. You know, I don't think there's a ton of panic. They're obviously a team that knows how to win in the postseason.
Don't tell the national media that, Jim.
I mean, the only Super Bowl champions, no big deal.
This isn't the same team that won the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed.
Again, yeah. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there.
I'm saying the core parts, the Mahomes, the Andy Reid's, the Kelce's, those guys.
So three guys. Cool. All right.
Important guys, though. I mean,
they are, but teams have pretty much shown you if you can cover Travis Kelce, problem solved. There's injury concerns and whatnot in Jacksonville. We've seen concerns now this past week out of Dallas, out of Philly. What team should be most concerned looking at the final 3 weeks and then the postseason? Kansas City, Jacksonville, Dallas, Philly. Kyle, I'll start with you.
Define concerned. Do you mean like getting knocked out of the playoffs, or
with their ability to make it to or beyond the AFC title game or their conference title game?
To make it to
what team should be most concerned about getting to the Final Four?
Because the MASH unit is what it is, I'm going to go Jags.
Yeah.
Simply because Christian Kirk, when you're getting him back, Cam Robinson's still out. When you're going to get Andre Sisco back, when you're going to get Tyson Campbell back. These are all things that are factors. And oh, by the way, in the meantime, can Walker Little and Ezra Cleveland on the O-line, which is already just thin as hell in the middle. No, don't make any comments, EJ. I saw that wink. For those of you who are on the podcast, EJ tried to be smooth and wink.
Oh my!
In a smaller window. I know you heard it, you some bitch. Anyways, and
I winked when I winked.
That's not taking away your Cowboys injury concerns, EJ. I mean Jim. But for the Chiefs having injury concerns, I think is lesser only because they had concerns in the roster going into the season. Like, for example, the new tackle being Jawan Taylor and all of that. As much as we talk about the receiver issues, the fact is they've been weaker on the O-line for the entire year compared to last year. That's what we've been trying to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, EJ, same question to you.
That's easy. It's the Jags. I mean, the Jags have to find themselves out of the playoffs completely if they're not careful. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But they're right now they're in a toss-up with the AFC South right now with two teams, the Colts and the Texans, that have.
Okay, asked and answered though, EJ. Like CJ Stroud is relatively injured. They're going to lose at least the next game in Houston.
Right.
And then the Colts will have they have their thing going well for them, but so too do the Jags, and they have the tie breaks on both teams at this point. So
in the wild card,
yes.
So I'm saying
because divisional. Well, actually, I don't know about the wild card, but because divisional, real quick, divisional record, they have the potential and would assumedly, after beating the Titans in the final game, would have a 5-1 record in division. I think that's a first for the Jags in franchise history. But
Colts win this week. Hypotheticals. Colts win this week. Jags lose. Now the Jags are in the wild card spot, but now they're also in a spot where Buffalo wins. They're now 9-6. Who's the other team in the wild card now? Currently, the Bengals. They win. They're also 9-6. The Jags at that point are now out of playoff contention. Well, out of the playoff 7 at that point. So they have more concerns. At least the teams you mentioned, Eagles, Chiefs, they all have 10 wins already. They're all in a secure situation where they can afford a loss or two in the event, worst case scenario. The Jags are in a spot now. If they lose, and Tampa's that's not a gimme game either for the Jaguars. They lose this game.
It's hard for me to believe that a team will be left on the outside like that with 10 wins. And if that happens, that'll be the most Jacksonville Jaguar shit of all time.
So that's why I don't care. Must win for the Jags this week.
I'm not angry at that, but it's still stupid.
But Colts, if the Colts beat the Falcons this weekend and the Jags lose to the Tampa, Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh, Buffalo beats the Chargers.
Asked and answered though, EJ. If CJ Stroud returns, and you agreed with this earlier, I think the Texans still win that Week 18 game and get the Jags back where they need to be.
Yeah, but that's a lot there. Just take care of business now while you can.
Well, I agree.
I agree with you, Doc. I agree with you, Kyle, to your point.
But I do think that because of tiebreakers, I think the Jags do have a little bit more of an inside edge.
I'm sorry, Jim. One more stupid tiny detail that does need to be mentioned. If they lose to the Bucks, that does not impact their conference record. I think that needs to be made clear.
I do know the Jags have a win over the Buffalo Bills this year, so they have that in their pocket,
which helps them.
But there'll still be a game behind that scenario though, based on the survey I presented, actual game because of 9-6 versus 8-7
in the conference.
No, just the record overall.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So
it's like the Jags have a lot of favorable tie breaks against a lot of the teams here, except for one, and that's the Bengals.
I think my larger point here with the Jags is that their margin of error now is gone. They got
no, their margin of error is tighter because again, they still have the tiebreakers over their division opponents
and the Bills,
but ultimately, like the Bills realistically are playing for a wild card spot. The Jaguars are playing for a division and 3 wild card spots. So like two really. Let's be real. Cleveland's going to get 10 points before they do at this point.
And
so, you know what I mean. The Bills are playing for 2 spots. The Jags are playing with 3 spots.
Correct.
So the numbers are a little bit more in Jacksonville's favor.
EJ's point is fair. Not
wrong.
Yeah.
But
last 2 games against who? Jags last 2 games after this week in Tampa, they play who again?
That would be Carolina and Tennessee.
See, that's where I feel a little better about their chances once they get past.
No shit.
if they just get through this week with a win, they're running with the AFC.
I don't mean to be flippant, EJ, but you'll have to excuse me. A 10-win Jag team is old for me. I picked it back in late August. Okay, so like
I did too. I had 10 plus
4 months ago. All right, I'm bored with this shit.
I did too. I remember I told you they could be a form of the top 2 or 3 seed in the AFC.
I
got yelled at.
My most concerned and
not by me.
Homer. And I'll hit the button on myself is the Cowboys. And it more has to do because of what the road in front of them is going to be. You're 3-4 on the road this season.
Jim, come on. You're gonna go with this road game trash? Like, where have the more difficult games been played? That's not because they played on the road. That's just because the way the schedule fell out. It's up there with, the Jags having the defending world champions, 2 AFC North teams, and 2 AFC North teams, granted with Browning in as a backup, but a separate conversation, and also the Niners in Everbank. That doesn't mean they play bad at home. That means all the fucking good teams came in.
No, but here's the thing. If the Cowboys had lost those 4 road games all within 7 to 10 points, then I'd feel a little bit better about it.
Interesting story.
But they got their asses kicked by the 49ers. They got their asses kicked
did the Jags
by the Bills. They got beat pretty bad by the fucking Cardinals.
Okay, well, see, that's your one thing on the road I can't account for,
And now I get it. You played a game in Philly that you probably should have won. You were arguably the better team in that game, but you still lost. Now you play at Miami this weekend, who can attack your weaknesses on defense in multiple ways.
That's fair.
That's a hard spot to be in a spot where, as we have correctly pointed out, if the Cowboys want to win the NFC East, they can't afford to lose. Okay, so you're in a must win situation on the road to win the division, to have a chance of winning the division, against a good team on the road where you've had harder games, but you haven't played as well. And the Cowboys even admitted it after this game, like their energy, they have not played well on the road this year for whatever reason. At home they're fine, even against Seattle, even against Philly, they have been fine at home. So you have a tough game this weekend. You're still going to have to get some breaks to have at least one home playoff game. So the most realistic road ahead of you is you're going to be on the road all the time. Now, week 1 of the playoffs, fine. You're going to Tampa, big whoop. We've done that before. after that, there's a real good possibility that you're going to number 1 seed San Francisco. Okay. And I know you laugh.
Yeah, the reseed.
And
Yeah.
because of what happened earlier this year, but let's also keep in mind, and let's be fair, that last year, and I get the Niners are better this year than they were last year, but at the point Tony Pollard got hurt last year, it was 6-6. The Niners won 19-12. Like, it wasn't a blowout a year ago. Yes, it was a blowout in week 4 this year. I get that.
And the Niners, by the way, are even better than they were in week 4.
I pointed that out. So you're going to be going on the road to likely San Francisco or Philadelphia. If you manage to win one of those games, you're going to be going to at San Francisco or likely at Philadelphia in the NFC title game. I don't like those odds for this team right now. That to me is the concern. As a Cowboys fan, that's the concern. It's not, I know EJ was ready for me to scorch earth the way I did earlier this season.
This is valid though. This is a valid.
But yeah, this is a little bit more calculated, reality based, than the panic time we heard in week 4.
Okay, so hey, must win for this Dolphins week. There you go, must win. Boom.
Well, we already said that. If we're talking about the division.
Yes. Cool.
And a much more worthwhile discussion. First of all, Jim, I think you misheard me. I said that the Niners got better even within this year. You said they got better. They're better than last year.
Gotcha.
That's my point. So I think you dismissed me a little fast there.
I also think overall the Cowboys are a better team than they were in week 4.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's true of both teams. So we can't play that card on either side. But as we correctly pointed out, Jim, is a phrase you've used there. Is that our version of hitting the clad?
Yeah, I think so.
And rightly so.
Mike says to him the biggest concern should be the Chiefs. He said other teams may get injured players back. The Chiefs won't have a wideout walking through their door tomorrow. The Chiefs also currently only sitting at 9 wins, since we're talking about 10-win teams. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of intrigue with a lot of teams as we head towards the final few weeks here of the season.